Sometimes when people today who go through similar situations, and most people say, well, nobody would understand what I'm ever going through. Well, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. Here is a man. If you think you're suffering, if you think you've been through a lot, you need to look at this man's life and then see how God Almighty, at the end of all of this, as he comes through all of this. And by the way, if you look at Job 23:10, we won't do it right now, but if you look at Job 23:10, it is a awesome and tremendous verse from this man who's right now expressing all of this depth of sorrow, preferring to die, but he still lives. He wants to die, but he's still living. And he said, well, you know what? Let me just read it to you. 23:10. But he knows the way that I take. And when he has tested me, I shall come forth as gold. Now that's a little bit later down the road, but that's what he's going to say a little bit later. He knows the way that I take. And when he has tested me, I will come forth as gold. That's a great verse from the book of Job. So there are people who say, well, nobody understands what I'm going through. Job does. Absolutely does. But you might want to encounter his life. Listen to him. Now, we're going to close. We're going to be short this morning. We're going to get you out early. There are some lessons here from this, just from this one chapter. I just want to share those with you. In spite of the despair of life, in times of great trial and heartache and pain, what is just should be understood by people everywhere is that these problems are common to all. That's what I learned. He's not the only man to go through anguish of heart, pain, and sorrow, and heartache. That's just life. That's a valuable lesson to be learned here. And then the expression of grief that we see Job doing doesn't always lead to rash action. It just sometimes needs to be expressed. And how did Job express? I've shared with you, he gave us 4 what? 4 whys. Okay, I remind you, go back. Look at verse 11, 12, 20, and 23. It is not wrong to ask why. What did Jesus say? On the cross, what did Jesus say? My God, why have you forsaken me? Jesus asked his Father, why? Remember that. It is not wrong. It is not simple to ask why. You need to ask why as you go through these. That's a valuable lesson I want you to walk away today with. And then a lot of people, as I have talked to people, and people have shared with me, because, you know, it's just good to talk to people. You don't want to be real quiet. No, talk. Talk to people. Get involved in people's lives. What's going on in your life? Talk to people. Many people, I have come to learn, have found great comfort. They have found solace in knowing that God knows and understands his children's heartaches and sorrows and pains. And we sing that song, don't we? Great hymn. Does Jesus care? Oh, yes, he cares. I know he cares. And we sing that song. God cares. And a lot of people take great comfort in that simple fact. That's why I've shared with you before many times, 2 Corinthians chapter 1 and verses 3 and 4 are pivotal in our understanding, keeping things in perspective. A lot of people find solace from studying a book like this. And a lot of people gain a lot of strength. They are helped. They are encouraged and enlightened as they recall, especially the end of Job's life. When you go back to chapter 42, if you want to run ahead there, which is, it's permissible, look at how this whole thing ends. How many, when you read a book, how many love a good ending? Sure, we all do. I mean, we just get pumped up. I mean, you're into this book and you're reading and already before you get there, you hope, man, I hope this turns out okay. And then you get there and it's a great ending. That's exactly what happens with this man. What a great ending. It is awesome. And a lot of people have been helped and strengthened by the ending of this great book. That's a valuable lesson from Job. And then lastly, how do I want to say, how do I want to put this? Maybe the reason, maybe some of the reasons our desires are not coming to fruition is perhaps maybe because God's purpose is not in it. Make sense? My son loves the book of Ecclesiastes, and I think Steve Michael did a great job last Sunday bringing the devotion at the nursing home. But I think he read to us from Ecclesiastes, and he shared something with us. And so in closing, and we're still doing good for time, I want to read Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 13. Talking about the end result, having a good end. Hope this turns out well, Well, Solomon says that let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is man's all. For God will bring every work into judgment, including every secret thing, whether good or evil. So, everything you did, you thought you kept secret, you kept it from somebody, it's coming to light. Okay. Our purpose for living, our purpose for serving God, whatever we do, we must include God's will for our lives and God's purpose. And Job was a man that was upright, blameless, feared God, shunned evil, and God in heaven, therefore, evidently thought that this man could handle His purposes in his life. And that absolutely is true when I go to chapter 42 of Job. And then I say, yeah, there you go. That's right. He handled himself very well. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people would give up. Quitters. People walk away from God, walk away from their faith, walk away from their fellowship. They just walk away because they can't handle life. Take your burdens to the Lord and leave them there. And that's good advice. And that's why we sing a great hymn like that. I want to close with you with this, something that we put in the bulletin before, but when I think of this man's life, I think of this that I picked up over the years. And it's simply this.